Hello sketchers, today I'm sketching in front of the temple for the Goddess of Mercy. This is a very popular place for locals and tourists here in Singapore. So during COVID there was this huge white tentage in front of the temple, and that tentage has been there for several years. So it's really good to see that tentage gone, because with that thing blocking the temple you just can't see the temple. And the tentage is really ugly. So it's great that we can see the temple now, and we have many stalls selling flowers, and there are some fortune-telling stalls as well. So the locals or tourists can buy flowers and offer them as offerings to the gods in the temple. And this is the shopping street. There are actually many bazaars and stalls in front, which you probably can't see very clearly, but they are selling tourist type products. And here near the entrance you can see people praying with their joysticks, praying to the gods in the sky, if I am not wrong. I am actually not very familiar with the customs. So I'm going to sketch somewhere over there because that's the shaded spot, and out here is the sunny spot. There is no sun yet because it's cloudy, but there will be sun later, so I have to sketch further in. I would prefer to sketch closer to the temple so that I can see the temple, but you can see I am now being blocked by the umbrellas and the stores. So if I sketch out there in front at the open space, I will be cooked. I will be sunburned later, and this tree doesn't provide any shade at all because there are barely any leaves. So this is where I will sit. I know the view of the front entrance is blocked by the stores, but this is urban sketching, and because we are drawing, we can choose to use our artistic license to move the stores to the left so that we can see the people praying in front of the entrance. By the way, if you guys enjoy urban sketching and want to support the work that I do here and also my YouTube channel, consider supporting me on Patreon, where you can get access to even more full-length tutorials like the one you are watching right now. My patrons are the sponsors of my YouTube channel, and they can think of themselves as producers of the videos too. So this is a new sketchbook that I am using. It's from Dore Art. I will try to paint and sketch more in this sketchbook before I make the review. But so far I don't quite like this sketchbook, even though it seems to handle watercolor quite well. I mean, the colors are vibrant, but the binding for this sketchbook is not that good. I mean, I have only made 2 sketches in this book, and the binding is coming apart. So that is not good at all. So I have 1 sketch here, and for this sketch I will use pencil. I'm going to draw, well, with my usual style, the very loose and sketchy style, because I want to go back early and go for lunch soon. And also the sun is going to come out very soon. So let me try and measure the temple. Okay, I think this looks good. Let me just draw the vertical sides first. Okay, I don't usually draw with pencils. The thing with pencil is the pencils will appear much lighter after the watercolor is on top. So with pencil, you have to rely a lot more on using watercolor to bring out the shapes rather than pencil lines, which will be gone later on. Unless you have a very, a dark pencil, like a charcoal, not a charcoal pencil, oil-based charcoal pencil. There is a difference between charcoal pencil and oil-based charcoal pencil. With charcoal pencil, the charcoal is going to smear quite badly when you run your finger on it. But with oil-based charcoal pencil, the lines can stay where they are, so they are more permanent in a way. Okay, yeah, so this is just a very quick sketch. I have sort of internalized how the composition is going to be in my mind. Okay, we have some roofs here. This is a wooden pencil, which I will have to sharpen later. Okay, we have some umbrellas in front, so I'm just going to put the umbrella here on the left side instead of here in front, because otherwise we will not be able to see the entrance. So let's just put it by the side here. Yeah, so let's just put it by the side here. This is a very almost comic style drawing. So the more you simplify, the more comic style it's going to look. You know, the anime and comic style, it's very simplified. Oh, this store is actually closed. It's not open. But again, because we are sketching, we can always use our artistic license to just make the store open, because the store beside is actually open. I want to open this store because when you have people in your scene, it's going to make your scene look more lively. So let's draw one of a person selling flowers, the store owner selling the flowers. And we have many of this. What is this called? I'm not sure what this is called, but this is the thing, the support that holds the umbrella. We have another store here. Now there is some perspective going on, as in the lines are actually going up because of perspective. There is this trolley here which faces the left side, but I'm going to have it face the right side so it doesn't look like the trolley is moving out of the page, going out of the page. Yeah. So these are some things that you can actually change when you are sketching. You don't always have to follow exactly what you see when you are drawing, but the general sense of the scene should be captured. Let's have another umbrella here. This is a red umbrella. This is a yellow and red umbrella. When sketching, try to create overlapping elements. So we can see these two umbrellas. This umbrella overlaps this, so that we can get this sense of depth. And the umbrellas will overlap the temple behind. Again, we create this sense of depth. Okay, we can have, maybe we can have a person standing here who's trying to buy flowers. We have another umbrella here. I will not draw too close to the page, the next page, because I want to keep some white space here. Okay. So when drawing, try to close up the lines, as in try not to have open gaps. The more you close up your lines, the more your scene will read, your scene will be able to be clearer. Your scene will read more clearly. So for example, let's say I'm drawing a tree here. Yeah. Try not to have open lines like this. So always close up the lines. And I have another tree here, which looks like a coconut tree. So you can see this open gap here. Yeah. So just try to close up. Oops. Just try to close up the lines. Okay, I'm closing up the lines at the bottom as well, so that it's very clear that the tree is behind the umbrella. And there is another tree on the left side as well. Okay, this part actually looks fine. Let's continue to draw the temple. There are a few pillars, so I want to draw the pillars first. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These two pillars are closer to the edge, and these two pillars are further. And now that we have all these segments, we can divide the segments into smaller and smaller segments. So the easiest way to sketch, in my opinion, is to get the composition out first, draw the big shapes, and then divide the shape into smaller and smaller segments. And try, of course, to get draw the perspective correctly. Because if you get the perspective wrong at the start of your sketch, the perspective of all those little elements like windows will be wrong later on. Okay, so this sketch is coming to life. Oh, there is actually another roof behind. So when sketching, you will start to realize a lot of things, like there is actually another building behind this temple. And the more time you spend sketching, the more you will be able to learn about whatever you're drawing. Okay, wow, this part here is a bit wrong, but it's okay. Here in Singapore, the weather can change really quickly, so I'm going to draw much faster because I have a feeling it's going to rain. Earlier, I thought it was going to be sunny, but now I think it's going to rain. So these are the people in front of the entrance of the temple. This is the entrance of the temple, which I cannot see because it's actually blocked by the umbrellas. I really hope I can finish this sketch here on location. At least color something. Yeah. So as I'm drawing these people, I'm actually aligning the head to the head of these store owners, just make them lower. And also their feet ends here. Again, I'm using this thing, this area here that I have drawn to help me position the people and also help me size the people. So for people that are closer to us, they will be bigger. Yeah, for people that are obviously further away, they are going to be smaller. And this area here is difficult for me to see because, well, it's blocked by the umbrella. Okay, we have a roof here. I'm using a pencil, so I have to draw from left to right. I mean, even if I use a pen, I still have to draw from left to right. Otherwise, my finger will smudge all the ink or the graphite. What pencil is this? This is just a graphite pencil. I actually prefer to use, what's that? The Nero, Watercolor Nero pencil, which is oil-based charcoal pencil. The lines for that is really dark, and oil-based charcoal does not, I mean, it does smear slightly, but it smears way less compared to graphite pencil. You can actually blend the graphite with finger, but you can't do so with the oil-based charcoal. Okay, so this part of the temple is almost done. So let's draw the background. We need to include some of the background as well. Now for this building in the background, the corner of the building actually almost coincides with the corner of this temple. So if I draw it like this, the two lines are too close together and it's not going to be, the scene is not going to be read that clearly. So what I want to do is to move the building to the left side so that the corner of the building is away from the corner of this temple. Yeah. So these are little things that you can do to help make your scene read more clearly. So when drawing, just try and think about how you can make your scene read more clearly. We have windows here. Okay, I can feel the breeze coming in, the breeze of the rain clouds coming in. Yeah. For the building in the background, I don't need it to have that much details, but the perspective for the windows has to be drawn correctly. Yeah. So this wall will point down and the windows here will point like this because of perspective. So you get a sense of which plane or which surface of the wall is facing which direction. And sometimes I may also use some lines to help me suggest the surface of the wall. Okay, this looks fine now. Yeah, the rain clouds really are starting to appear, so that's not good at all. We have leaves. It seems like there is a hotel behind this temple. For the hotel, I will just skip it. I will not draw it with lines because I can paint the windows behind later with watercolor. So I don't have to draw the windows, I can paint the windows easily. Okay, I think there's a fly trying to disturb me. Next, let's draw another umbrella here. Okay. Yeah, I definitely have drawn at this location a few times before. Maybe not from this view, but from some other view. Okay, so this sketch is almost done. Maybe we need to put more people in the scene. You see, I'm shaking my leg because of the fly that is disturbing me. And for people that are further away, again, we just draw them smaller. From where I'm seated, my eye level actually intersects with the bottom of the t-shirt for most of the people. So this is my eye level. See, this is my eye level, which intersects with the bottom of the t-shirt. So the bottom of the t-shirt for people should be there. And then I can draw the body above the t-shirt and the body below the t-shirt, the bottom of the t-shirt. For example, if I have to draw a person here, this will be the bottom of the t-shirt. I can draw the person big, walking, carrying a plastic bag, walking like this. Yeah, so as long as the bottom of the t-shirt intersects with the eye level for this particular scene, the people are going to look at the correct size. Okay, so this is the structure, the support that's holding up the umbrella. There's a little bucket here, another bucket here. When drawing the buckets or cylinders or bottles, make sure the bottom is curved. I have a tendency to draw, to make the bottom of those cylinders flat it's a mistake. So I usually try to remember that mistake and avoid making the same mistake. Okay, so this is the bottom of the t-shirt. We have this guy who is trying to sell what's that, flowers to the tourists here. Now with this blunt pencil, I can't really add much details. I can't even draw the eyeballs for the people, so I'm just going to leave it like this. Maybe I should sharpen my pencil. I should sharpen my pencil. If you use a mechanical pencil, you may not be able to get or create the expressive lines. Okay, this part here, okay, I think I messed up this part here. But you probably can't tell because, I mean, if you want to scrutinize the sketch, you will be able to find many mistakes. It is possible to make this sketch as accurate as possible, but that is just going to take a lot more time, that's all. There is a building here behind, a street lamp. And this street lamp, this is the stand for the street lamp. Make sure you can see the stand going behind, in this case the umbrella. And there are some white boxes here, so we get even more overlapping elements. There are some plants here. There's actually a tree by the side, but I am not able to draw the trunk because it's too far right. But again, because this is a sketch, you can actually use your artistic license to change things up. Okay, for this building behind, I will not draw the details. Okay, or maybe I can draw the tree trunk here. Yeah, sure, no problem. There is another umbrella behind. Yeah, there is actually another street lamp behind, but my perspective is like off, so I cannot draw that street lamp behind. But it's okay. I'll just leave it as it is. If you see a mistake and you want to correct it and you don't know how to correct it, sometimes it's good to just leave that mistake alone first and just go draw somewhere else. Yeah, go draw some other part first and then come back to the mistake again to see whether you actually need to correct that mistake. Sometimes you may not even need to correct that mistake. Okay, so this sketch is done. I guess the drawing part is done in 20 minutes. So now you can see it's getting really cloudy and it looks like it's going to rain. So I had forgotten to take a photo of the temple earlier when there was still light. So whenever you are sketching, try to take a reference photo first, or if the scene is very cloudy and there is no light, and you know that light is going to appear later, just wait for that moment when the sun comes out and quickly snap a reference photo because you may not know how long that light will last. So without the sunlight, without light and shadow, it's sometimes a bit more difficult to show the form of the building. Now for this temple, the form can be shown quite easily because you can see parts that come forward and you can see the roof, you can see that the wall is behind the roof, under the roof. But for certain buildings, you really do need the light and shadow to bring out the form. Let's spray some water to make the paint wet. And you can see this is quite dirty because I had forgotten to clean the palette after the previous painting session. Okay, I'm going to put this brush here on the left side instead so that it doesn't get in the way. So I'm going to start with yellow ochre just to paint this building in the background. I feel like this paper doesn't absorb water that much. You know, when you use high quality watercolor paper, you know immediately when you paint the water or your paint with the first wash, you can sort of get a sense of whether the paper is good or not. And for this paper, I'm not too sure. Okay, let's just paint the big shapes first. And then maybe the ground will be this yellow ochre and slight red. Alright, looks good. I'm not being very particular about accuracy. It's just a sketch. So we have a yellow umbrella here. This one is red, so this is yellow. Yellow. We have a yellow box here. This wall looks like it's yellow. A yellow bucket. Another yellow umbrella. Yellow here. Yellow. So some of the colors are alternate. And I want to use this yellow to paint the plants so that later when I add blue, this yellow becomes green. So I'm going to have the colors mixed on paper later. We can have some leaves here as well. This part here, I will leave it there because I cannot remove it now. Okay, so next let's paint the roofs, the golden part of the roofs. I just need to add slight red to it. Okay, just to make it less yellow. The yellow that I'm using is azo yellow. My favorite mid yellows will be azo yellow, Tansa yellow medium. Yeah, so just two yellows. Other popular yellows to use would be nickel azo yellow. I love this yellow because it's very vibrant. We can have some yellow here as well on the right side. So this is also the temple wall. Yeah. This is the temple wall. Oh, there is another umbrella behind as well, which I will color later. Okay, temple wall. We need yellow ochre again for the brown boxes. I think my color may be contaminated. Yeah, why does my yellow ochre look so dirty? Okay, next we can paint this magenta color. Maybe I will use, I don't know what's this, transparent red oxide. Just to paint at the bottom. This looks okay, I guess. Yeah, this looks okay. Maybe let's add some red to it. Okay, I can see there is some color blending, but the color actually doesn't move much. So that tells me this watercolor paper is not like that great. Okay, this is the side wall. We can use this red here for this red umbrella. Sometimes the painting process takes me a longer time compared to the sketching process. Okay, we have a red plastic bag, some red buckets here or joysticks, red t-shirt. We need some gray. So let's see what gray I have here. This looks like phthalo blue from my previous painting session. So I'm going to maybe paint here. Yeah, this looks okay. Is this dry yet? If this is dry, I can actually just use this to paint the windows. Maybe I can add some blue to make this cooler. Now, I can use this to paint the hotel windows in the background. This roof is green. I just realized I should have painted the roof yellow earlier and then go in with the green. I can still do it now. Yeah. Let's just wash this and go in with the green. Let's try phthalo. Phthalo green looks okay. This is azo yellow and phthalo green. Maybe we can add some warm blue just to see how it looks. I think this looks better with the warm blue because phthalo looks too vibrant for this green. We have green here as well. This is also green. It would be good to just stick with one color and use that to paint everything with that color first. But the thing with me is sometimes I would miss out on certain things. This is green. So you can see this green is not that dark. We need a darker green for this, so we need phthalo for this later. We can have green here for the plants. Some green for the leaves. Looks good so far. Some green here, green here. Maybe some green here for the people praying. Some green for the flowers. Some green here for the plants. Okay. I need to add some gold again here. Here, I can see that this green wash is still wet, and when I painted this gold color, I realized that the colors, they don't blend. they just don't move into each other. So that is another clue as to the quality of this paper, which is to say that this paper is not that great for wet on wet techniques.
哇，很美
啊，谢谢谢谢，
好像真的
哈哈，谢谢谢谢。
哎，很美了，真的哇，图画家
谢谢谢谢。So yeah, so that was someone who just walked past. Yeah, so I mean, when you're sketching outdoors, people may talk to you. So that is just something you have to anticipate. For the, for this, for the shadow areas, I'm just going to make this a neutral wash. I'm using the same red as this, but I'm adding some green just to make this darker. I may even have to make this much darker later, because some of the darker areas here are pretty dark. Yeah, for example, some of the windows here are really dark. The bottom here for this red is dark because it's under the shade. Yeah, this paper, I don't like this paper. Yeah, I don't really see the colors blending. Let's have some gray, cobalt blue dip with transparent red oxide. You can mix grays with, what's that? French ultramarine and burnt sienna, which is the usual mix. This part here is challenging. Okay, now the light is coming in, which just made me realize that if I can paint some light and shadows, that would be good, because right now you can see there are no shadows. For the background, let's go with the yellow ochre again, which I should have gone with earlier. Okay, so maybe I shall wait for this to dry before I paint the additional washes. And now it's time for me to take a reference photo. So that was where I was seated, and because I have been here to sketch several times, I know exactly when the sun is going to come in. So I probably have another half an hour to sit there before I'm hit by the sun. So right now I have the sketchbook under the sun because I want to dry this wash more quickly. And now let's go take some reference photos. So this is how the sketch looks right now before I add in the blacks and the shadows. And the color palette here is more neutral compared to here, where you can see the colors are obviously more vibrant. So now I just need to add the darker areas and also maybe add some cast shadows, because now I can see the cast shadows. Alright, let's continue, and I hope the beeping sound will stop. So for this part here, I'm going to go the easy way to paint the shadows by using this warm blue and transparent red oxide. So this warm blue is cobalt blue deep. Okay, so this is now much darker, as you can see. We need to make the shadows darker. And I probably need to add more paint here because I'm running out. I have forgotten to refill the colors. This part below also needs to be darker. This area here is darker. So as I paint the second layer, I feel like the paper is not really absorbing the paint. This area here should be darker as well. Shadows beneath this area. Let's have some cast shadows for the umbrella and for the people. Okay, maybe we can make the trees here darker. Okay, looks good so far. I will want to add some red now to maybe highlight certain parts. So we just need to add little spots of red for some details. Here as well. Oh, there is actually some green that goes across. I missed that. I totally missed that. Some red for the flowers. Some red for the details on the umbrella. Perhaps make this darker. Oops. Yeah, because I may want to, add some white over the black just to get some negative shapes going. Let's add some green. Some green here as well. Okay, so this sketch. Let's make some windows darker. Let's add some windows. We have some lights here. There are some lights inside the temple as well, but some of the paint is still wet, so I'm quite hesitant to add white because I don't want the pen to be destroyed. Okay, I think this sketch is done. Alright, I think this sketch looks okay, I guess. I just want to add some yellow. I'm using a water brush now because I've already kept my actual brush. I need some parts to be darker, so this part here should be in shade, and this part here seems to require some red. You can see some white here, so I need to maybe cover the white with red. Maybe I can add some details here to the roof. Okay, yeah, so I think that's it for this tutorial. I hope it's kind of useful. This sketch looks alright, I guess. It looks alright. I can certainly add more details with the white gel pen, and that may actually work out quite well. So for example, here I can add the rails, maybe add some details here, because this part of the temple is hit by light. I know it's very noisy here in the background. Okay, maybe you can add some details here for the leaves. Yeah, okay, I shall stop here. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye.